a high-ranking officer in the army. I was never more certain of anything in my life. After all, it takes an old soldier to know one. I almost brought my heels together, and he smiled broadly. "At ease, Major, at ease." He looked about the cell with some distaste, poked at the bucket in the corner with his cane, and grimaced. "You really have got yourself into one hell of a bloody mess, haven't you?" "Are you from the British Embassy in Athens?" I asked. He pulled the only stool forward, dusted it, and sat down. "They can't do a thing for you in Athens, Vaughan. You're going to rot here till the colonels decide to try you. I've spoken to the people concerned. In their opinion, you'll get 15 years if you're lucky. Possibly 20. "Thanks very much," I said. "Most comforting." He took a packet of cigarettes from his pocket and threw them across. "What do you expect? Guns for the rebels, midnight landings on lonely beaches?" He shook his head. "What are you, anyway? The last of the romantics?" "I'd love to think so," I said. "But as it happens, there would have been £5,000 waiting for me in Nicosia if I'd pulled it off." He nodded. "So I understand." I leaned against the wall by the window and looked him over. "Who are you, anyway?" "Name's Ferguson," he said. "Brigadier Harry Ferguson, Royal Corps of Transport." Which I doubted, or at least the Corps of Transport bit, for with all due deference to that essential and important branch of the British Army, he just didn't look the type. "Simon Vaughan," I said. "Of course you'll know that." "That's true," he said, "but then I probably know you better than you know yourself." I couldn't let that one pass. "Try me." "Fair enough." He clasped both hands over the knob of his cane. "Fine record at the academy. Second lieutenant in Korea with the Dukes. You earned a good MC on the hook, then got knocked off on patrol and spent just over a year in a Chinese prison camp." "Very good. According to your file, you successfully withstood the usual brainwashing techniques to which all prisoners were subjected. It was noted, however, that it had left you with a slight tendency to the use of Marxist dialectic in argument." "Well, as the old master put it," I said, "life is the actions of men in pursuit of their ends. You can't deny that. I liked that book you wrote for the War House after Korea," he said. "A new concept of revolutionary warfare. Aroused a lot of talk at the time. Of course, the way you kept quoting from Mao Zedong worried a lot of people, but you were right." "I nearly always am," I said. "It's rather depressing. So few other people seem to realize the fact." He carried straight on as if I hadn't spoken. "That book got you a transfer to military intelligence, where you specialized in handling subversives, revolutionary movements generally, and so on. The communists in Malaya, 6 months chasing Mau Mau in Kenya, then Cyprus and the Aoka. The DSO at the end of that little lot, plus a bullet in the back that nearly finished things." "Pitcher to the well," I said. "You know how it is. And then Borneo, and the row with the Indonesians. You commanded a company of native irregulars there and enjoyed great success." "Naturally," I said, "because we fought the guerrillas on exactly their own terms. The only way." "Quite right. And now the climax of the tragedy. March 1963, to be precise. The area around Kota Baru was rotten with communist terrorists. The powers that be told you to go in and clear them out once and for all." "And no one can say I failed to do that," I said with some bitterness. "What was it the papers called you? The Beast of Selengar? A man who ordered the shooting of many prisoners, who interrogated and tortured captives in custody. I suppose it was your medals that saved you, and that year in prison camp must have been useful. The psychiatrists managed to do a lot with that. At least you weren't cashiered." "Previous gallant conduct," I said. "Must remember his father. Do what we can."